Hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of Stamper Camper's Video Corner. Lately I've been making a number of cards using the window pane technique, and I wanted to show you how I get mine nice and evenly spaced. This is such an easy technique to do. For my card, I started with a piece of 3 1/4 Whisper White. This was the perfect size for using the 1 1/4 inch scallops as my 4 window panes. So begin by punching a number of these out. And what I did was I added a little bit of the Hermafix, the temporary tape, and you're going to just position these on your piece of cardstock. Now, as I'm positioning them, I don't always press them down to begin with because I often have to move them around to get them spaced just the way I like them. So once I have them here, at this point you can move them around a little bit. And then when you're ready to go, just kind of press them down lightly. Now, you want to take your punch and you're going to use this upside down. And this just works so great because these are your guides for punching. So you're going to put it in here, and what you're going to find is that it just slips right into that opening. Punch it out. And it punches nice and easily because you're only punching through one piece of paper as long as you're lined up correctly. So there's my second one. Nice and easy. I do love how they fly everywhere. Here's my third one. And then finally, my last one. Sometimes you line it up real quick and sometimes you don't. This is, okay, got it. Almost. Don't you love it when that last one just gives you fits? Okay, there you go. And what you have is you now have 4 perfectly spaced openings to create your window pane. Now what I do is I take and I add some dimensionals to the back, and that's so it pops up from the card. Now if all you wanted to do was learn about the window pane technique, go ahead and stop the video now. But I have had some people ask me about how do I actually make my full cards. So I'm going to go ahead and show this because it's a nice and quick card. Okay, I started with a piece of Daffodil Delight. It was 4 1/4 by 8 1/2, and I folded it in half. I took another piece of the Daffodil Delight, 4 1/4 by 4 1/4, and I ran it through my hexagon embossing folder. And I'm just going to go ahead and layer that right on top of this piece here. Now the next thing I did was I took a piece of the polka dotted Daffodil Delight. This layer is 3 1/2 by 3 1/2, and it's layered on a piece of 3 5/8 by 3 5/8 basic black. Now I've added some dimensionals to the back of that, and I'm going to add this to my card front. I'm going to do it just a little bit on an angle to make it look a little more interesting. Okay, now back to that window pane that I cut out, and remember this was 3 1/4 by 3 1/4, and I'm going to just layer that on top there. Now we just about have our card done. Let's talk a little bit about these bees. Now for the first bee, actually all the bees are the same. I stamped them in basic black. I colored them in with the Daffodil Delight marker, and then I added some dazzling details to the wings. I punched this out with the 3/4 inch circle, added a dimensional to the back, and I'll go ahead and add these to my cards. These are just such cute little bees. Love them. Okay, and my last one is here. Now for my final bee, I wanted to add the greeting underneath it. And I wanted the word happy because I wanted it to be happy. So I started with a piece of Daffodil Delight, and I found a great looking happy on, this says happy birthday with a cherry on top. This is from a Word For You stamp set. I'm going to take my black marker and I'm just going to color the happy part because that's the only part of this that I want. If you want, you can huff it and then stamp it on here. Then what I did was I took my largest framelit and put it over and cut it out. And so then what you have is you have this. And remember, if you have trouble with your framelit moving around on you, use a Post-it note to hold it in place. So besides this one, I cut out a second one in black because I wanted to layer it to just give it a little more interest. And so I have this. Now this is a little bit too big for my card, It's going to hang out everywhere. So what I did was I just trimmed this off. Can add some adhesive. Just going to do for quick, going to put on a little glue dot here. And then I'm going to add my little bee for Be Happy. Now once that's done, then the last thing that you want to do is you want to add a dimensional to this. And add this to your card to finish it off. Now this is just, like I said, a very quick and easy technique, and it's just so fun seeing your images popped up inside of the window pane. Now I've done a couple other cards recently with this. This was one I did using the same 1 1/4 inch scallop punch and then the bitty butterflies that are in the Spring Mini. And here's one that I did a couple weeks ago, and I used the postage stamp punch. You can use any punch that you want to create the window panes. So if you'd like more details on these cards, you can visit me at stampercamper.com. And as always, until next time, happy stamping.